Hey, Anthony.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, nice to see you again. I see you like all around the world. I saw you in Israel, right? Fest Israel. Then
Yep.
in China at Global Sources Summit. Like all over the place. Where else have you been recently?
I think maybe Lithuania as well for another seller event there. And were you up for Cross Border Summit in Guangzhou?
Yeah, yeah, I was there. Were you
I,
there?
I didn't make it there. I was supposed to be there, but my flight got messed up, and I didn't have the right visa, so they didn't let me leave the airport. But next year.
Oh, all right. Next year. That's right. So I see you are in some interesting place. There's some action going behind you. So what's this place?
I'm just in my apartment right now. I normally work out of here or I go into our studio. But so I knew that we had the call scheduled, but the massage, we ordered massages here. We do it all the time. So like it's normal to work while getting a massage. So I'm getting a massage right now, but I promise I'm not distracted. It's going to be a great interview. I'm excited to be on the show.
You mean she's doing it right now while you're
Yeah,
talking?
yeah. It's
You
very
mean
normal here. You just
it's a it's a feet massage, right? Foot massage.
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
that's something different. I never had an interviewee who's getting a massage at the same time.
So like the team will take a really good photo, but I'll say, hey, like Amazon is a really white platform. Like there's white everywhere. So we want to add a pop of color in certain ways. We want to contrast images in different ways to catch people's eye. So I think that's the advantage there.
Hmm. So what do you say if we do a little bit of practical demo? Like, could you show me how your mind works? I don't know. I could share my screen or you could share yours. And we will just look
Yeah.
at like
Let's do it.
I'll give you a product and just show me what's your process. Like, do you want to
Heck
share
yeah, I'm
your
super
screen
excited.
maybe?
Yeah. Let me give me 1 second. Let me I'll pull up Amazon real quick. Yeah, this is super fun. Give me 1 second and I'll share the screen. Let's see. Share screen. Yeah, this is what we do. Can can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. I have to do. Let's see if that works. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah, it's loading. All right, I see it.
Okay, so what product do you want to look at?
Okay, so let's say I'm a customer. I come to you and I say, "Hi, I have these." I don't know. Start typing like silicone something. Let's put silicone and then see what we have. Okay, so silicone ice cube tray. I like that one.
Okay, super boring product, but this is a good one, right? I
Boring
don't
is
think we've
hard to
done
make. Yeah.
that. Yeah, no, but that's what's fun, right? Because a lot of our team, when we first start, we're like, how do we make this look sexy? And so, pretty much what I'm going to show you is exactly what we do. And what really sets us apart is we do a lot of research, right? We do a lot of research into the product, into the customer. Hold on, this is just being a little bit laggy. So once you do the research, exactly what you need to do becomes very apparent. So here's what I'm going to do to start, right? I'm just going to pull up some listings that look like they're good, right? Because these are like kind of I don't care about people who have bad listings. I don't care about this because that's not silicon. So I've got three up right now. Let's see what we have for their images. So right off the bat, I'm super excited because like I see white background images. Super boring. Okay. This one gets a little bit better. You've got some lifestyle. Maybe on this, you've got some interesting way that they're actually stacking the trays. Wow, this is going real slow.
It's a little bit slow on what we see on the visual. But so the first thing that you look for is the photos, right?
Well, I just want to get like a brief analysis first of like, okay, if we have a customer that's gonna sell this or they want to sell this, can we actually help them, right? Because sometimes you look at certain categories and you're like, this is gonna be hard, but this one's pretty easy. Wow, this is super laggy. I'm thinking if I think
It
it's just
is laggy. I'm not sure. Yeah, has to do with the internet, I think.
yeah, I think I just had to shut off Helium 10. 1 second. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so the real first thing I'm going to look at actually is the main image, right? And the reason this is important is because of click-through rate. So the main image, right, we want to come up with something that's engaging. We want to do something that's going to catch someone's eye. But more than anything, what we found through a lot of testing is we want to show something that actually shows the product in use. So we have a couple of different main images here. It's kind of just stacked in an interesting way. This is vertically stacked. The one that I like is actually showing the ice cubes. If I were to actually see how this person, they're like kind of cracking the ice cubes out.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee that if I would run a PickFu image test on this or any kind of image test, that the most effective graphic is going to be a combination of showing one stacked and then showing someone like breaking it out with the actual ice cubes coming out. So that's thing number one, is if I wanted to have a killer main image, I'd probably stack them in the foreground just like this, and then I'd show someone like breaking out the ice cubes. But then just to make it a little bit better, maybe I'd have them like falling out a little bit more. But now let's actually go into the actual listing. Those would be my recommendations on the main image. And again, remember the main image, you can do a lot of testing on this. You can use like Splitly, and you can actually just test your main image and see what gives you the highest CTR. But now what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to find out, okay, what do people actually say about this product, right? What do people like about it? What do they hate about it? What do they not like? So I'm going to turn on Helium 10. I'm just going to pull up the review downloader. I'm just going to extract all the reviews. I usually try not to look at the 5-star because I just assume that most of them are fake. So this is going to take a minute because there's like 3,000 reviews. So while that goes, pretty much what we're going to do there is we're just going to look for commonalities. What are people saying about the product? Then what I'm going to do is now I'm going to actually start to look at the product itself. So like, what might someone actually care about with buying this product? If I look at their bullet points, it's saying like, okay, it's reliable. It's saying that they come with a removable lid. Okay, so why is that important? That's going to be important because it's going to make sure that no extra stuff gets inside of your ice cube. Obviously, that's important. You don't know what you're going to be putting in your refrigerator or your freezer. With all the products and benefits, like with all the features and benefits, rather, we always want to talk about what is the actual benefit, but why does that matter to me? So like why, Pauline, I'm sure you could get this one, like why is the fact that it's stackable? Why does that matter? Why does anyone care? Obviously, the reason is because in a freezer, you're going to have tight spaces, right? So you're going to have to use your space wisely so that you can fit as many ice trays as possible. So like that's the feature. Then I'm going to want to think about why does it matter? And then I'll conceptualize, okay, if that's a really important feature about the product, what is a way that I could show the stackable feature? If I go to one of the competitors, like let's look at their images right now for their lifestyle. Okay, so they've got this. It shows me it's an ice cube tray. That doesn't really help. This thing is telling me that it's flexible and durable. This is saying that we can, okay, this is explaining how to take them out, right?
But so, I like this. I like the steps 1, 2, 3. Like it looks good to me immediately. I don't know. I like this.
Bingo. I love it, right? The steps are fantastic, right? So here's what we want to try to do in our graphics, right? Remember earlier when I was saying that when we're shopping on Amazon, what we're really trying to fight is we're fighting distraction. So the only issue I have with this graphic, and this is a really, really good graphic, but it's about two different things. One thing is about durability, and the other thing is about how to actually remove the ice. So what we've tried to do here is we would try to break this down into two separate graphics, right? If you're a brand registered seller, you can put up to 9 images in your gallery. Other sellers can put 7 in. So like, I don't need to only put in, we've got 2 images here that are just white background, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4 that are infographics. So why not use all 7? My goal is if I can get someone to learn the information that I have in my bullet points before they get to the bullet points, then that's a big win, because any additional time that they spend on the listing, they're just learning extra information. You're further convincing them that your product is the right one. So again, like if I wanted to break this down into 2 graphics, I would just do the same kind of thing with this, right? But instead of getting this flexible and durable, it'll say like, and this is just off the top of my head copy, but it would say something along the lines of like, super easy to take the ice cubes out, or won't ever stick silicone design, like something like that. The only issue that I have with this infographic is that the text here isn't super bold. What we try to do is never overlay text onto an image. The text should always just be by itself. So like I would put it in a box here that's on the same color blue background, and then just show this up front. But all in all, this is a pretty good infographic.
What about this number 3 says, please don't add too much water? That's like I don't know, it's a little bit negative connotation to that. It's like it gives me some direction, some rules, like don't do this. Would you keep that?
Like, the thing that I don't love about this is like, you get what they're trying to do here in this third graphic is they're saying don't add too much water because the ice cubes will stick together. So it's saying here, we've got this standard water level, which is here, which is pretty much saying don't fill above this line. So again, I don't want to put any extraneous information. I want the image to be as clear as possible. So what I'm going to say is like, it would like have an arrow pointing to this line, and it would still say standard water level, but instead of saying please don't add too much water, it would say like, don't fill above the line to ensure ice cubes won't stick. Again, bad copy right off the top of my head, but again, just try to make it as simple as possible. I like this. This is a good graphic, right? Safe and worry-free. Silicone material can direct contact with your food. The thing that I think they're missing here is like they could have a little bit of an emotional appeal. They've already got this cute baby in the background. They've got the product here. It would say safe and worry free, and then it'd say like keep children safe, or keeps your children safe, so you never have to worry, right? I like this one. It's a girl eating the things out of it. But again, like let's put some text on the graphic, right? I would look here and see, okay, what other features do we have? We're talking
Yeah,
about that
like to me too, this girl is unclear. Are these frozen fruits, or she's just using this as a food tray? Like, I want some explanation, some words on it. Yeah,
Bingo, right? And maybe right there, like if you're talking about, hey, this is actually really good for your freezing fruits and you can eat it. And so maybe you've come up with like an alternate use. Someone was going to buy this and they're just thinking, I'm going to do my ice cubes. But now that they see this, it's like, okay, maybe I could put fruits in it. So I would try to reinforce that with like putting text on the screen. And what the whole purpose of this graphic would be is to reinforce this extra benefit, give someone an extra little push into to buy your product. And I might say like, perfect for freezing fruits, a healthy snack for you and your kids, right? Like pretty
yeah,
straightforward stuff, but it really, really reinforces that point. Now, if I go back to the review downloader, now that this thing is done, this is a really cool tool. I recommend you use it when you're launching a product, when you're doing competitor research, because it really takes a lot of the time out of making a review. So I'm just going to go over here into the analysis, and let's see what people are talking about. Oopsies, man, this is just so slow. Let's see what people are talking about. So what I try to do is when I go to the reviews, I try to look for things that kind of stand out, right? So obviously I know the 617 people that use the phrase ice cubes, that's not helpful. Let's see what they say. Okay, easy to use, right? 203 people are actually concerned, or they're remarking about the fact that this product is easy to use, right? So nice design. This is something that we're going to want to highlight, right? If we're talking about silicone, why is that a feature? Why should people care? Because silicone, unlike plastic ice cube trays, means that the cubes are going to come out much easier, that you can kind of squeeze them out in the back, right? So I'm going to want to show with lifestyle images, or I'm going to want to show with infographics, like someone very effortlessly just like kind of squeezing the ice cubes out. Maybe even do like a split screen between a silicone ice cube tray and a plastic ice cube tray. And on the left-hand side, the silicone one is twisting, the ice cubes are coming out easy, the person looks happy. And then on the right, the ice cubes are kind of stuck. Maybe some of the ice cubes are stuck together when they're coming out. The hand is a little bit more gripping the tray to show that it's not as fluid as the silicone tray. Easy to pop in the freezer, get the ice out. Yeah, people were really talking about the ice being easy or hard to get out, right? So obviously that's probably like the second infographic. From the bottom, right, what I was saying earlier, I'm sure people are saying, hey, this is really great because you don't have to let all of the ice cubes out. What if I'm just drinking one glass? I don't want the whole tray to come out. I just want to be able to pop out like 2 or 3 cubes, right? Bam, that's like, it's obvious when we're thinking about the product, oh, this is so boring, there's nothing to say about it. When you actually start looking at the individual reviews, it's like, well, everyone else might be showing their ice cube tray like on a white background or with kids eating from it or whatever the images might be. But I'm going to be the only competitor that's showing like, it has an individual infographic, because I know this is an important point, of someone squeezing an individual cube into a glass, right? And it's going to say like, pop out individual cubes without releasing the whole tray. Again, that's like right off the top of my head copy. But like now, if I'm looking at this listing, it's like, I already knew I was going to buy an ice cube tray. If I've clicked into your listing and I'm going around, like I already know I'm looking for it. So as long as I don't see something in the listing that's going to like confuse me, right? If I come to this listing and I see this guy selling the tray for $8.95, I look over here and I'm like, okay, cool, this looks like a good tray. And then I come over to this listing and it literally has a graphic of like, hey, this is good for making perfect snacks. Hey, this is perfect for popping one cube out. Like, which one are you going to choose? And that's kind of how we see our conversion rates get really, really high. Let's see what else they have. Sizing. This is like a good takeaway for anyone watching the show. Everyone does these sizing graphics. Sizing graphics are always important, right? But think about this, right? Does anyone really, really care like that this ice cube tray is 25.2 centimeters? Like,
it's really hard to like judge how big that is. You know, is it 2.5 or 3.5 centimeters? I have to like, I can't quickly like put it together in my mind. Like, it's not immediate association.
bingo, right? So like I'm going to do the same sizing infographic, but the difference is I'm going to show it someone putting this into a refrigerator. It's going to show me how big it is. And then maybe to the left of the ice cube tray, I'm going to put in like a chicken breast that's in a sealed bag. I'm going to put like a bag
okay.
of, like things that you've grabbed from the grocery store many, many times that I know exactly how big a 1 pound bag of peas is. And so it's like, okay, there's like 2 bags stacked next to this. So it's a little bit shorter than that. And you can kind of visualize, okay, I've got a small fridge, I've got a big freezer, whatever it might be, and you can kind of see. So always try to create or put in props to reference the size. Don't just put in the numbers, because people just look at the numbers and they're like, okay, cool. They immediately think over it. Again, you're just trying to paint the picture of this product actually in use in someone's kitchen. Same thing with like the stackable lids. I'm sure a big thing with this, if I'd spend more time looking, is like people wondering about the size of the item, right? Or maybe it's how stackable it is, because everyone, especially in the US, right, like no one ever has enough space ever in their house or in their kitchen or especially in their freezer. So it's just an extra barrier that you want to overcome. The other thing we do, I'll show you, obviously I think the review downloader is pretty straightforward stuff. The other thing and let me shut Helium 10 off. The other thing that's really cool to do, not many people know to do. Most people know about the review downloader, but this is really a cool little hack that we've been using for a couple of years. So what you can actually do is if you click on these people's names, it's going to actually take you to the reviewer profile. And so why is this helpful, right? I don't really just care about the products that are related to maybe one of our clients, right? That's not super helpful. What I want to do is I want to find out like who in general are the people that are buying this product. So what I do now is I click into this reviewer profile, and you can do this for anyone who's left a review on Amazon. And now what it's going to do, well, this person doesn't have too much. But I like to go to the top reviewer profiles, and now I'm going to see, okay, Pamela, she's from Webster, New York. Let's see what other kind of things Pamela is buying. And the goal here is I want to kind of figure out like who is Pamela as a person. And after I go through like 50 to 100 of these, I'm going to have a really good idea of like who's buying this product, what stage of life are they in, what is the price point that they feel very comfortable spending. When they leave negative reviews, what is the basis for that review? Is it because it wasted their time and now they have to take little Jimmy to soccer practice, and so it kind of ruined their day? So let's see, right? So here she's got the ice cube trays, right? She bought a product for pain relief. Okay, here we got some more stuff. This is like hemp oil, right, for relaxation and sleep. So maybe, okay, let's see. She's interested in health products. I can very clearly see that. Pain relief, being able to sleep. I'm getting the idea that Pamela might be a little bit on the older side, but I'm not quite sure. Let's see.
Me too, somehow. I don't know. Yeah, because the medicine and the ice cube tray,
Right. Here we got, so, okay, they're going on a beach trip, right? They got this blanket, and then they got this this sprinkler system for kids, whatever. And I'm starting to get an idea of what she's buying. Like, let's go to, that's just a normal customer. So let's pull out some more people. We got Debbie. I can already see that a lot of these people buying this product are women. Okay. But also we've got a guy too. Like, let's not forget that, other people are going to be buying this. Oopsies. That's just the doorbell. My maid will get it. It's all good. Let's see.
You have a maid? That's awesome.
It's a Philippines, yeah. It's a great life.
Foot massage while you're on interview. Maid is gonna answer the door. This is awesome lifestyle.
Good stuff. So essentially, the other thing I can do too is if I go to like a bunch of these profiles, the real thing I want to see is like, okay, so people selling this product are doing this for $8.95. Let's see who else we got. Yeah, I just want to see what other price point they're selling at. And the reason I'm going to do this too is I want to see like, okay, every month this person is spending like, okay, 5 times a month they're going to buy a product that's like 25 plus dollars. And so I want to see, okay, if this product is like $9 to $15, this should be a pretty easy sell, right? Versus if I have a client and they're selling like a sous vide cooker and it's like $100, okay, I'm going to want to switch the branding. I'm going to probably see that a lot of people buying the product are consistently spending in that range, or they have a comfortability to do that. And so again, like, why is this important, right? When we're actually creating the listing, right? Most people will just like, they'll just be willy-nilly with the model, right? They'll just like kind of pick whoever. What we really try to do is we try to match like the models. Even if we have to do it in Photoshop, we try to match them like who the customer base is. So if I find that like this is like, this is pretty much like a middle range income family, not super wealthy, maybe even on the lower end side, because this is like a cheap product, right? Maybe they're making like, as an individual, they might be making like $50,000 to like $100,000 a year, maybe a little bit more. And so, okay, it's also like an older age range, like 40 plus. So even if we're shooting it with a male model that's like 35, something like that, we're going to try to like put some gray hairs in him. We're going to make sure he wears glasses to the shoot. If we can like put some hair on his forearms, like, this is kind of funny. This is a little bit of trickery we've done, but we've done a lot of testing with Bigfu and then also Amazon Mechanical Turk. And what we actually try to do is we try to make the models ideally someone that person would be attracted to. at that stage of life. So if this kind of makes sense, like a lot of people would think, oh, you should just put like a hunky, thin, slim male model in there. And it's like, no, if the age range is like 40, people might, as a guy or a girl, be interested to someone who actually matches their own age, that looks like they're well dressed, but it looks like it's someone who could reasonably be like their husband or their spouse or their significant other, their partner.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
kind of stuff
Just,
like that.
I'm using
Our
the
goal.
same idea recently. I've researched that whoever is like, if you have a YouTube channel, you're promoting some services, most likely your customers are either relating to you closely or in your age group, either the opposite sex or the same. So it's very often whoever is in the pictures, I guess, is, it attracts that type of buyer as well. This is
Yeah,
cool.
and the thing too is like what we're really trying to do is like, and I think there was a talk at Global Sources. I think Chris gave it, Chris Rawlings, and he was saying the goal of every listing is that you should get into the listing and you should feel like, wow, this listing was made exactly for me. And so like when you make that click, then it really works. Like the other day we were working with a workout product, right? And I was looking at the competitors, and this is a workout product that you would use for really long outdoor workouts. Like you're going to be sweating a lot, right? And so everyone else like showed the product like in an indoor environment, like in front of yoga. And it's like, it doesn't make sense. Like this needs to be like an outdoor event, like a Spartan race, or like someone playing football, like on a soccer field, like outside in the summer in the heat. And so you got to set up those images to really, really match and think about like, how can I build the environment to really feel authentic to someone using this product, and not just like, I went willy-nilly, like this is a workout product, I'm going to show it in a spin studio, right? We really try to like give it a lot of thought, because at the end of the day, like no one knows why they click add to cart. They just know they looked at two things and one looked better.
But okay, so I get your idea. Your flow is very organic and just rises from what you see, and that's how you apply your experience and the knowledge on top of that. But for someone who's new, are there any guidelines like to follow? Okay, so one thing, I will look at all the reviews, and could you a little bit generalize what you said, because we were specifically talking about the listing now, but what are the general rules when I'm trying to do the same what you just did?
The biggest thing at the end of the day, the biggest thing is like, you really just want to, more than anything, you just want to focus on like figuring out who the customer is. I think probably about 40% of the work we do just happens doing research, right? Trying to figure out what is the product, what are the benefits of the product, like why should this matter to me? And so like, if you focus with the customers first and the reasons that they want to buy the products, you really can't go wrong. Like when we lay out our whole process, like for the rest of the team, I think I'm able to come up with some good ideas, but I try to tell the team, like, this isn't magic, right? You just literally, like, if I can come up with the top 5 features, and then I just have to figure out, okay, what is the best way to convey the reason to buy this product based on that? And some of it's creative, and then some of it's like, you just send it over to the team and then it looks beautiful. And what we find is like, it's not about being like, obviously we shoot to just be as good as possible. We want to make the listing look way better than the competitors. But like, if you can just communicate something, it doesn't even have to be that good of photography, to be honest. Like one guy I really like a lot is Kevin King. I've seen him talk a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And like some of the images he uses, like I don't think they look very good, but I know why they work is because they're effective. So he's like, for $50, go on Fiverr and you can like have someone draw a cartoon for you. It's not like it looks like it's out of a magazine, but like it's functional. It gets people to convert. So you can't really go wrong. But the one thing I would say for beginners, like a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm not really ready to spend money on photography or on graphic design. And to that, I'll say, like, think about how much money you spend on your PO, how much you spend on shipping or FBA fulfillment fees, PPC. Like, if you're telling me you can't spend $1,000 to actually make your listing look good, I think you probably have a little bit of mixed up priorities in terms of long-term thinking for your business.
Wow, this has been great. I really I feel like if I'm a new guy in Amazon, I think I still can't like do it on my own. I want to come to you and ask for your help.
Well, the big thing we see too is like, at the end of the day, it's like very, what we tell people all of our secrets. Like I will literally, like, if we had a longer talk, I would literally like walk you through, I'll do an entire listing, exactly what we want to do. If you want to do that another time. And like what most people say is like, yeah, that's cool, but I just don't have the time. You just do it. Like, here's the money.
I see. I guess that's how you get the customers. You just show that you understand something, you have the expertise and the knowledge from before, and that is what I like about the experts and hiring someone else, not me, because you have it all accumulated knowledge over the time. So you've seen many different listings and you've applied the same strategies. Now you can pull information from different categories and different ideas. It's so much more wide open than I am limited to my own category when I look at it.
Well, and things as well now is like, because we see so many products and we have some really good relationships with our bigger clients, and they actually tell us like how their listings increase in terms of conversion rate. The thing is, like, this stuff really does matter. Like, we've seen customers that we have that are selling in very specific niche categories that have conversion rates over 60%. So like 6 out of 10 people who come to that listing are going to buy, are going to click add to cart. Like, that's amazing. And so the thing is, this is something that you do one time, and if you do it right, it really has an impact in growth. The other thing too is, like, now Amazon, I don't know if you know this, but Amazon just recently opened up, you can start to split test your enhanced brand content, right? And so, like, as an individual seller, you might, after some testing, figure out, okay, what works for a specific listing. We test things all the time on people's listings. So we know what works really well to increase your CTR and main image, because we've done it a bunch of times. And so, yeah.
This is great. Thank you so much. I loved the practical demo. It was very easy to follow and understand. Thank you so much. It sort of opened up who you are, and how you think. And now I see that you have way more potential than I thought. I'm sorry. But it's just like, oh my God. It's not just some company that hires, third party photographers from Philippines. You are actually the engine, the power, you give the creative directions and everything. And I guess that's the power of your company in there.
Yeah, what we really wanted to do, like, Virtuous Graphics has a pretty interesting story about how it started. So my business partner at the time, Eric, he was selling on Amazon, and he was finding that it was very difficult. You could find a photographer on Upwork or Fiverr, but you couldn't find a creative that really understood Amazon TOS and knew what worked well on Amazon. So he hired some people and started training them. And then, he had a bunch of friends that were Amazon sellers, and they said, hey, can we start to contract out your work? And I guess Megla somehow found out that, like, this guy had a photo studio, and she was like, hey, Eric, like, I need someone to talk about photo for Global Sources. I hear you're a photographer. And, like, he didn't even have a company set up. And he was like, oh, sure, I can do it. Yeah, like, no problem. So he puts together Virtuous Graphics, and, like, in a month, like, he learns as much as he can. And then he gives the talk. And, like, thanks to Megla, that's where we got, like, our first round of customers and kind of people trusting us to do their listings. And then that's, so it was just kind of set up in a hurry. And the reason a lot of people ask, why is it called Virtuous Graphics? The reason why is because his importing company was called Virtuous Imports. And at the time, he was like, what is the most straightforward name that, like, my containers won't get inspected? Like, no one would mess with Virtuous Graphics. It sounds like, Virtuous Imports. And so when Megla asked him to do the talk, she's like, what's the name of your company? And he's like, I have no idea. And he's like, we'll call it Virtuous Graphics. So that's kind of
okay, makes sense.
But yeah, we were always focused on, like, having a team that wasn't just good creatives, but, like, really understood what worked well on Amazon. So we don't help on anything outside of Amazon. We just focus on the listing.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Antonio, for chatting with me today. I hope the audience, you guys, got some value out of it. And how can people contact you if they are interested in working with you?
Feel free. They can just contact us through our website, or they can just send me an email, Anthony@Virtuous Graphics. Anytime that we get on one of these things, we always have, like, a special offer. So anyone who wants, like, same thing at Global Sources, but anyone who wants 3 free infographics, you don't need to pay. We usually charge, like, almost $70 US each. So you're getting a pretty good amount of value. No purchase necessary. Just send us your white background photos, and we'll get you 3 infographics, and they'll probably look pretty good. That's pretty much it. One thing I will say is, like, we're not really taking any new orders right now, like, because we're just so slammed for Q4. But if you have plans on launching something, like, later in December, that's fine. But really, like, if you're looking at getting stuff for Q1, just shoot us an email.
Wow, you sound pretty busy. Do you also do account audits, just like giving some feedback, looking at the pictures, sort of what you did?
Yeah. So definitely people should chat in. If anyone wants, like, I'll hop on the phone with them, like, as long as they want. I'll tell you exactly what we're going to do. Like, so good to the detail, you could write it all down and get it done by a freelancer. I don't care. Like, it's fine. I'll help anyone out. The whole team is trained on doing it. And we also do a lot of meetups. So, like, we travel around. I don't know the next time I'll be in Turkey, but we try to post and announce to our email list, like, when we're around. And if we're ever in a city, we try to like, we'll get you drinks or, we'll have a good time. It's good to meet face to face.
Okay, great. All right, so I'll see you around soon at one of these events and meetups, probably. Maybe next year in one of the events that I'll be speaking at. We'll see.
Sounds good. Well, I know I'll be in Prague, so I guess I'll see you there for Augustus's event if you'll be at.
Yeah, I'll see you there. That's right. I'll be a speaker there as well.
Sweet.
All right. Thanks so much,
All right,
Anthony.
Paulina, thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thanks. Take care.